Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, and it's still short life, deflated for the second time in its history by that hole caused by a crane during snow removal operations, punctured. The plane arrived from Buffalo with the necessary repair materials, and very quickly, the workmen went to work on Saturday afternoon. The puncture had been December 30th at 4 a.m. And once that hole was repaired, it only took an hour and a half to reinflate the dome. So we are ready for Monday Night Football. And as you look at the interior of the dome and the roof, no evidence of the past damage. So we are ready, as noted, for the Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the final wind-up of the wild, truncated NFL 82 and now 83 season. Now, this game does have importance. Nearly everything settled for the playoffs yesterday, but there is this unfinished piece of business. Should the Vikes upset the Cowboys tonight, they'll play here in the Metrodome next week against Atlanta. And should the Vikes lose tonight, they will have the unlikely prospect of going down to Texas Stadium, where the hole in the roof is real, and the unlikely prospect of defeating the Cowboys, where the Cowboys have been well-nigh invincible for so many years. So that's the backdrop to this contest. Except for this, the Vikes are saddled with injuries. They've got problems, quite clearly. They're underdogs. To fill you in on that, the gift.
Thank you, Howard. Indeed, they are saddled with injuries, but I agree with you. They do not want to lose tonight and go down and play in Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys are 76-17 overall in their record. But for the Vikings tonight, it won't be easy. They like to throw the ball with Tommy Kramer about 50 times a game. Ahmad Rashad is out. His career is over, by the way. We'll be talking about that during the game. Sammy White, their leading receiver, will not play tonight, we understand, although he might be getting a little bit of action. But Minnesota likes timing patterns. They throw the ball, as I said, about 50 times a game, and they really would need those outside receivers to be effective with the pass game. But indeed, they want this game. They want to be here in Minnesota, inside, with no hole in the roof next week. And if they can win tonight, they will have that. They will have Atlanta here. That would be a definite edge. And the man who's been studying his facts and figures all day long, as he always does, can tell you a little bit about the Cowboys. Andy?
Well, I don't know much about all that other stuff y'all were talking about, but I do know this, Frank. These teams don't like one another. No, they actually have played good football in the past, and I think we'll see a good football game tonight. Bud Grant had a good line. He said this is not only America's team, it's the league's team. I think he was referring to what Dallas' schedules have been, but really it's not that bad. One thing I think we can look for is Dallas' secondary. For years, historically, they always talk about, did they ever have anybody that played cornerback? So last year it was Gene Stallings' secondary. This year, the only head coach that Dallas has ever had, he's taken over. He's got Barnes and Downs back at his safety. He's got Walls on one side and Thurman on another side. Everson Walls has led the league. It's already settled. He's got the most interceptions of anybody, and I'm not going to throw it in Walls' direction too often. I'll guarantee you that. We're going to see the ball in the air a lot. I think it'll be a good ball game. I'm happy to be here. It's our last one. We're going to have a good time. Frank, let's go do it.
All right, my man, this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Datsun, who invites you to test drive the exciting new Nissan Pulsar NX at your Datsun dealers. And by Sharp Electronics Corporation. From Sharp Minds come Sharp products. The Metrodome. She is all pumped up, sellout crowd. Ahmad Rashad, I referred to him a moment ago, cracked vertebrae in the back. His career, and what a magnificent career it was over the years, has been completed. He winds it up with 495 receptions. Just a tremendous athlete, Howard.
No question about it. Certainly one of the most graceful receivers of our time or any time in the history of pro football. Beautifully articulate. We wish him well in his new career as a broadcaster.
Ahmad Rashad joining NBC after tonight's game. Set to go now. The Minnesota Vikings will be kicking off to the Dallas Cowboys on the season. The Cowboys, who were defeated last week 24-20 in Texas by Philadelphia, breaking a 6-game winning streak. As you can see, they have dropped Ron Fellows, deep number 27. Back there with him is Timmy Newsome. The Cowboys would like the ball to get to Fellows, but if you've been watching the development of Timmy Newsome over this season, you know he too can be a threat. Vikings are 4-4. We've already touched on the significance of the game for them. The Dallas Cowboys 6-2 in the final game of what Howard referred to as their truncated season tonight. This will be Timmy Newsome.
The
Yeah, Timmy.
And Newsom barrels all the way out to the 35-yard line where Danny White will bring the Cowboys onto the field. There he is. Bad game last week against Philadelphia. Danny would tell you that. 2 interceptions. He fumbled the ball a couple of times, but he was the NFC's leading passer after 8 games. And second in the NFL to Dan Fouts. And I suppose with Kenny Anderson and his great performance against Houston yesterday with Cincinnati, well, Danny will have to have some pretty good numbers tonight. First down, 10, 35-yard line. The Cowboys send out Drew Pearson to the right, Tony Hill to the left. First play from scrimmage. The setbacks are Ron Springs, number 20, and Tony Dorsett, number 33. Springs, left side, gets a good block and gets out close to the 40-yard line. 5-yard pickup by Ron Springs, the 4-year man out of Ohio State. 3-4 on first down. You'll see a 4-3 as Minnesota, like most teams around the league now, will be making situational changes. Matt Blair, a Pro Bowler for the 5th consecutive time over the left side for the Minnesota Vikings, number 59. Changes in the secondary made a few weeks ago have sent John Turner to free safety, number 27, John Swain to the left corner, number 29. Second down and 5. Cowboys at their own 40-yard line. From the I formation, the deep tailback slot, Tony Dorsett. The quick toss. Gets a block. A good one for Springs. Good recovery over there on the far side, however, with Dennis Johnson and Charlie Johnson moving out to hold Dorsett to about a yard pickup where it'll be third down and about 4. Tommy Kramer loosening on the sidelines. That's healthy the past couple of weeks. He had a very troublesome tricep in his passing arm. Got it back together. Put the ball in the air 56 times against the Jets in a futile effort a week ago. Third down and 4. 4-man front now for the Vikes. In the shotgun, Danny White times it out beautifully, goes out into the flat. Complete, picks up the first down. Matt Blair over there defensively, and he collects Timmy Newsom out of the backfield, but not until Newsom has the first down near the 48-yard line. Well, that's the situation. We are inside. They've patched the hole in the roof. 23 degrees outside, just kind of above normal here in Minneapolis, as I watched on the television this evening. 65 degrees, however, inside. Right at the 48-yard line is Tony Hill. Is split to the left, up to the right goes Drew Pearson. Tight end, Doug Cosby. 27 receptions in there. And Springs is pounded. Jeff Seaman comes in there. He's filling in for an injured Scott Steadwell, and Seaman has been quite a story for the Vikings, who's great all-pro for many years without San Diego, and now back, and they need him. And the only coach you ever had, Don.
That's right. Yeah, he's over there talking to Jim Myers right now, and he said, now, somebody either missed a block or they're tipping that thing off. More than likely they missed the block. Seaman read it very well. Probably the center moved out in front. They played Minnesota several times and have done a pretty good job against them.
There's a loss of about a yard and a half. Well, a second down and 12. The ball at the 46-yard line. Dorsett single setback. 2 tight ends are in. Danny White, Tony Hill is open, and Tony Hill inside the 30-yard line. Found the gap, slowed up, was in between 3 defenders. First down, Dallas inside the 30-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings.
What he did, Frank, was what really is, I think, sets him apart from so many receivers. You'll see this pass is thrown behind him. He's made his cut. Look at the ball come in behind. Tony was able to turn around, in the air, come back. That's just, gosh, that's nice to see.
They mark it at the 27-yard line. Tony Hill, the leading receiver for the Cowboys coming into tonight, has led the Cowboys for the past 3 years. And he's missed the excitement once he catches the football.
Will Hill.
Straight throw backfield. Dorsett following Springs. Good penetration by the Vikings, however. And it was Tommy Hannon who was the second man there for the Vikings. There will be a loss, and it has not been Tony Dorsett's rushing year.
We've seen most of the clubs been stumbling a little bit here in the running games. They come back in, they'd say, oh, it was a strike. They didn't have this thing down, but most of their teams are passing a little bit more, and their running games have suffered some. Dallas in particular, you mentioned Tony. He's not, of course, he won't make his 1,000 yards. We've heard that a bunch of times.
Well, he needs 408 yards if he can put that together.
I don't think he's going to handle it tonight. 400, well, no, not 408. No, he wouldn't do that.
Not in one game anyway.
Second down. Long 2, so we'll call it second down 13. Ball marked at the 30-yard line. play, and Springs didn't want it. And Danny White had to unload it. I believe that Danny White was trying to give the draw to Springs.
You could see Springs come up before the snap of the ball and whisper something in Danny's ear, and he said, "I don't want it, Danny." No, he didn't say that, but they did have a mix-up. You could tell that one was not going to happen right at the very beginning. He said, "Wait a minute. Hey, Russ, I don't want that ball, Danny."
I'll tell you, that's pretty heads up of Danny White not to come up with a fumble on that and then get rid of it without being sacked.
Well, he's lucky he didn't get an intentional grounding call. But notwithstanding, White seems to have the ability to make the completion that's necessary when he has to.
Third down, 13. Danny a little confused. Gesticulates out to the left side where Drew Pearson is located along with Quick Johnson. Third down, 13.
Look out.
Going deep. Quick Johnson was the intended receiver and had a safety blitz on Rufus Best, crawling all over Danny White, and we'll see Raphael Septien on fourth down. And Septien just needs 3 points to tie Bob Hayes, and somehow or other I think they ought to put kickers in a different category. Think of all the knockdowns Bobby Hayes went through to pile up those points. Nothing against Septien.
Not only that, he had to work with Dandy.
Right. Tell you what, though, Hayes would have run under that last one. You just throw it up. Can't overthrow him.
47-yard attempt. The holder is the quarterback, the backup quarterback, Lynn Toronto. Tom Rafferty will snap it. Cowboys have used a little over 4 minutes. Low kick. And Septien bounced off his duff as he slipped. And some snow had fallen to the carpet here with the hole in the roof. They said it could be a little slick. And Septien went down.
He really did, didn't he?
I'm sorry, Raphael, but that was funny.
That was funny.
It goes with the season. We'll be back.
You can't argue with success. Nissan Motor Corporation's 9.9 annual percentage rate truck financing is saving buyers money. And now we're extending 9.9. So you can still save from $900 to over $1,500 in finance charges alone on any new Datsun truck. So join the crowd while we still have trucks and you still have time. Datsun, we are driven.
This Bud for everyone who kicks off the week with Monday Night Football. Distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. How you do? This Bud's for you.
Minnesota's first possession, their own 29-yard line of scrimmage. Missed 47-yard field goal attempt by Raphael Septien. Tommy Kramer, of course, the quarterback. Ted Brown, number 23, single setback. 2 tight ends are in, Sensor and Jordan. Kramer. And Kramer, they could call this the throwing away. There was no Viking eligible receiver, but no flags are down.
Talking to Tommy before the ballgame, he did mention that as far as the cornerback's concerned, I alluded to it in the opening, that Walls, Everson, when you look at what Walls has done this year, that is terrific. He had 6 interceptions. But he said that Dennis Thurman gave him a little bit more room over here. And it looked to me that time that Tommy was trying to hit out in front of him. And maybe those big arms of a Harvey Martin or Randy White blocked the vision because he did have an open man in front of Thurman.
Second down and 10. Tony Galbraith checks back into the backfield, and now it's Ricky Young, another fine receiver with Ted Brown. Out comes Steve Jordan, the extra tight end. This is Ted Brown. He does the ball for the offensive work for Minnesota, and this time he'll be dropped for a loss. Close to the 27-yard line. Loss of a couple. It'll be third down, extremely long. There's the standard 4-3 of the Dallas Cowboys again. I've said it before, one of the few teams that still stays with the 4-3. They do change a great deal in situations now. There is the secondary that Don referred to, 3 free agents, an 11th round draft pick in the form of Dennis Thurman. We've got a third down and 13. The ball just inside the 27. Tommy Kramer on the year, just under 58%. 32 of 56, as I mentioned a week ago against the Jets. They like to put the ball in the air. Kramer. Look out. And dancing down the sideline, but they say that he steps out at the 37. That's short of the first down, so we'll see the punting unit for Minnesota. Looking on anxiously tonight, I know Tampa Bay, St. Louis, and Atlanta, they'll have to make their travel plans after tonight. Because depending upon the outcome of this game, it's going to affect the lives of a lot of players and a lot of organizations. We'll get to the exacts on that in a moment. Greg Coleman will kick. Rod Hill, a rookie, first-round draft pick out of Kentucky State, where he had a phenomenal 31.8 punt return average when he led the NCAA Division II last year. Great athlete. The Cowboys say they can wait till he develops. Coleman, fine punt. Rod Hill. Timed out beautifully, hustling down for the Minnesota Vikings was John Swain. He did not interfere with Rod Hill. So a fine punt by Greg Coleman of 43 yards, and the Cowboys have the football at their own 22.
NFL Classics, presented by Advanced Formula Stress Tabs. The Dallas Cowboys built their reputation with precise, perfectly planned football. But they earned their charisma with miracle moments like this in a 1975 playoff game with tough Minnesota. Trailing by 4 points with 25 seconds left, Roger Starbuck threw a 50-yard prayer to Drew Pearson, who reached back and caught it for the touchdown. And the Cowboys stayed alive on the road to their third Super Bowl. When you burn the candle at both ends, there's a vitamin just for you. New Advanced Formula Stress Tabs, now with biotin. A vitamin not found in other stress formulas. A vitamin essential to help convert food to energy. When you burn the candle at both ends, support your diet with new Advanced Formula Stress Tabs with biotin.
Harlem Globetrotters return to the Big Apple, and New York will never be the same. Plus, skiers attack the world's most treacherous downhill run. Another great opening, the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
No score from Metrodome in Minneapolis, 9-12 remaining in the first quarter. A capacity crowd, 62,000 plus, scrambling for tickets throughout the week. This game sold out. These teams, Don touched on a little bit, they really don't care much about each other. They've met so many times over the years in crucial games. Dallas with an edge, but Minnesota's played them well. First and 10 Dallas. The ball at their own 21-yard line. Tony Dorsett will try the left side. Big opening for Dorsett. And Dorsett, short of the first down at the 30, dropped there by Tommy Hannon. It'll be second down 1. Tony Dorsett hasn't complained about it, but he thinks that the total concentration on the passing game has hurt Dallas's running game, and I believe that's true because the offensive linemen, even themselves, there's such a difference between a pass block and a run block. Tony Dorsett's average down to 3.7 coming into tonight for the season, way below his career average. Second and 1, just inside the 30-yard line. Cosby in motion. Dorsett has the first down out close to the 34-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10.
That gentleman is the goalie, Tretiak, of the Soviet national hockey team, which is on tour now. They've played 4 games against NHL teams. They're tied at 2-2. They lost last night to the Calgary Flames, 3-2. Calgary got all its goals on power plays. Tomorrow night, they play the Minnesota North Stars right here in Minneapolis.
Wonder what they think of this game.
They like it. They're great fans.
First down 10, 34-yard line. No score. Danny White drew Pearson, and Pearson holds on to the football to the 45-yard line. John Swain hit him first, and then John Turner gave him a shot that could have knocked the ball loose. It did not.
Never ceases to amaze me how those guys hold that ball down there. And he got hit hard from both sides that time. And Drew's done this for a long time. He's one of your basic, as they say, credits to the game and terrific the organization there, too. Man, he did. He got it from both sides. Held on to the ball and kept going. Awfully nice guy.
Leading all-time receiver in receptions. He needs 61 yards coming into tonight to replace Bobby Hayes for career yardage. Bobby Hayes marks in jeopardy tonight. Septian can get his scoring marks. On first down, Ron Springs, and he is stacked up in the middle, and you better believe Charlie Johnson acquired in September from the Philadelphia Eagles for a high draft pick, was reading that beautifully. Fine nose tackle Charlie Johnson.
But when you have a Danny White who has become such a polished precision passer, sure you turn to the pass more. No matter how Dorsett fields, you can chew up yardage as you've just seen with White throwing to the receivers he has. Much easier.
Second and long, four-man front for the Vikes. They bring in Randy Holloway, and they bring in the other defensive front man. That would be James White as they drop into their 4. Second down and 10. Checked off. Dorsett. And squirms to the 40-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be third down and 5. Dennis Johnson, the second Viking there, made the stop.
Yeah.
In a lot of trouble up here if you're a Cowboy fan.
Oh, she probably can handle it.
Two of the finest coaches in the game, Bud Grant, Tom Landry, both of them as about emotional as the other.
You know, Bud's had kind of a semi-dry spell for the last 5 years. We'll get into that in a little while.
Yeah, he's changed. He's broadened. He's mellowed.
Third and 5. The ball at the Vikings' 40-yard line. Danny White springs, and Ron Springs ducks his head, gets inside the 30. Cowboy first down near the 29-yard line. Knopf made the stop defensively.
The way they diversify their receivers, Danny White just can cut an opponent apart. He throws high percentage passes always, as here. Just cuts them to ribbons.
Ron Springs was wide open there. You saw that third down. You know, I don't understand all these prevent defenses and things. They leave an awful lot of holes back there. Unless they get quick pressure on that passer, there's going to be some people open in that 5 to 10-yard line.
Why we're having those 500-yard games.
That's really true. I think the game has changed a great deal. I'm not taking anything away from this passing.
Springs turns inside, a good block by Donovan, but Dennis Johnson pursuing along the line of scrimmage made the stop. It'll be second down and 7.
Really an excellent play by Johnson, who didn't give up on it at all, went across field and executed the tackle from the rear. You're right about the prevent defenses. We commented on that last Monday night in Miami. As far as I'm concerned, the prevent defense is an allowed defense. And I've seen 3 teams, low ball games, in the last 2 weeks playing the prevent defense, which allowed the other team to score and win.
Second down, 7. Dorsett. Again, good defensive play, and again, a fine tackle by Dennis Johnson, holding Dorsett to a couple. It'll be third down and about 4.
Oh, Dennis is wound up tonight, isn't he? He's everywhere. He is making some good plays out there.
Good. He was a 4th-round pick in 1980, and he played for Bud Grant in the Senior Bowl. They took him in the 4th round. He's turned into a good one for him, and you can see Septien probably...
He's practicing balance, Frank, so he won't slide.
Some new tread on his sneakers.
You can see some wet spots out there on the field, and that's what he was right in the middle all the time before. It was right one of those snow leaks.
Out of the shotgun on the passing down. Danny White. As his 3 wide receivers to the right. That's Butch Johnson in the end zone. He's all alone. And overthrown just a bit as Butch Johnson got behind Turner and Swain. They both tried to pop him inside the 5-yard mark. They both missed, and he was wide open in the end zone, and we'll see Septien once again.
Not much room behind the goalpost in this particular stadium, and you saw that time, or maybe you didn't, but when Butch went through the end zone, he slipped, fell in against the wall.
Septien, 8 of 12 in the season, long at 53. We saw it in Houston, December the 13th. That was his career best. This will be about a 43-yard attempt. Septien, 26 of 28 inside the 40 over the last 2 years. Very accurate in short. Long snap. The Vikings, who like to go for the block, stay on sides, and Septien stays on his feet, drills it through the uprights, and with 3:20 remaining in the first quarter, the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 3-0 lead, and we'll be back at the Metrodome in a moment.
If your boss said you could pick any new typewriter, what would you choose?
IBM. IBM.
IBM.
IBM.
Every year, there are more and more typewriters to choose from. But which one is still preferred most?
IBM.
If you could have anything you want right on your desk, what would you choose?
A raise.
9-9.
The battle between the chef and the baker has been going on for centuries, until the Sharp Carousel convection microwave oven brought them together. As a microwave, it's better for fish and casseroles. As a convection oven, it's better for cakes and pies. And the Sharp Carousel turns the food so you don't have to. The Sharp Carousel convection microwave oven. We replaced 500,000 transistors and diodes with one tiny chip, Sharp.
Sunday,
Nothing will go wrong.
Roger Moore moves in with assault force.
Deep for the Minnesota Vikings, Eddie Payton, dangerous return man, number 31. Jarvis Redwine, speedster, second-year man out of Nebraska. There's Eddie Payton. Septien, with his 43-yard field goal, has tied Bob Hayes. Career points for the Dallas Cowboys. Septien. Eddie Payton, and he'll bring it out. He has to bring it out now. This is Jarvis Redwine, rather. He has been not running too many kickoffs back. He was a little tentative in the end zone, and he puts Minnesota into a deep hole.
Well, that was absurd for him to run that ball out. He was tentative. He had trouble corralling the football. He was in the end zone. Should have touched it down and gotten it out to the 20.
Great lineup coming your way here on ABC. Of course, Sports Beat with our colleague Howard Cosell hosting Professional Bowlers Tour for the 22nd consecutive year. Wide World of Sports, that's on Saturday. Sunday, the Superstars, 3 specials. USA versus the World in Amateur Boxing and ABC's Wide World of Sports. March 6th, we begin the USFL at ABC. Sports being number 1 is just the beginning. First down and 10, 11-yard line. The Vikings trailing 3-0. The toss goes out to Tony Galbraith. Cuts it back against the grain, gets out over the 20-yard line, close to a Minnesota first down.
Good first down play. Quick pitch to the outside. They caught Guy Brown on the inside. Had some blockers out there. Tony is the kind of guy that they were really, they thought he'd fit in up here, and maybe this interrupted season has hurt him quite a bit.
Maybe, but I'll tell you this. Anytime you throw the ball to Galbraith, whether it's a shovel pass or pitch as that was, or downfield, you're throwing to as sure-handed a man as there is in football. He is a great receiver.
Tommy Kramer brings the Vikings up, looks over the 4-3 flex defense of the Cowboys. McCullum out to the left. Ted Brown.
Good move.
Ted Brown, nifty runner, and he struggles up close to the 30-yard line. Second effort, and he'll get about 8 yards out of it.
People commonly regard Bud Grant as a conservative, but that was based upon his personality. Up to about 5 years ago, the truth is that there is no less conservative coach in the business than Bud Grant. He has more offensive sets in his offense than any other team in the National Football League.
A little addendum to those numbers. Bud Grant in the last 5 years is under 500 football, however. He's won 35 and lost 36 in regular season play. And he also has been in the playoffs 2 times during the past 5 years. Second down 3. Ted Brown. Brown close to the 35 for a Minnesota first down. John Dutton draws him to the carpet along with Bob Bruni.
Interesting, Dandy. He's going right at that famed front 4 with the run.
Well, he did, except the play before when he went over, they caught Ed Jones on the inside and slipped around there, picked up some yardage. I think this is a good move. Minnesota's a passing team, and Dallas comes in expecting a lot of passes, as did we. If they can run the ball a little bit, that'll just kind of set things down a little bit, slow them down. Good move.
2 tight ends now for Minnesota. Joe Sensor playing with a very sore knee and elbow. Perhaps the finest receiver on the field right now for the Vikings, with Rashad out and Sammy White out. Ted Brown collides with Vinnie Barnes coming up in the strong safety position. Vinnie will play it like a linebacker.
He does. They get a 5th linebacker, another linebacker up there with him coming up like that.
Quick news note, gentlemen. Mike McCormick has been named president, general manager of the Seattle Seahawks. He will not coach next season. One of his first duties will be to select his successor as head coach. I can name 3 likely ones.
Name himself. He did quite a job at Seattle when he took it over. Second down, about 10. Kramer never even saw it as he had Cowboys in his face. There was a blitz on as he tried to get to McCullum. Mike Hageman was right in the face of Tommy Kramer.
But you put it right at the top of the show, Frank. You pointed out how timing is so important in the Bud Grant passing offense. And there, without Rashad, without White, very hard for McCullum to come in there and Terry LeCount or anybody else and execute.
You would know that, Don, how important it is to work with receivers.
I just always threw it down as far as I could, hope somebody ran under it. Frankly,
particularly when you forgot to play.
Yeah, forget to play. Throw it real far downfield.
Just a few seconds remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys on top, 43-yard field goal, Septien. 3rd and 10. Kramer. Oh, good catch by little Leo Lewis. He's only 5'8" and 170 pounds. He's come up with some big plays, however, since Sammy White went down 3 weeks ago. And he gets the first down just as the gun sounds the end of the first quarter.
You'll see Michael Downs come across from his safety position. The ball's well thrown. He goes up, has it right there. Again, I'm very impressed when those guys hold on to that thing.
Much concentration by Leo Lewis, and the Vikings have a 1st and 10. They're at their own 46-yard line. They trail by 3.
What this country needs today is a really good rental truck at a really good price. So Ryder presents the $24.95 a day truck. For local rentals, this 18-foot Ryder truck is now only $24.95 a day plus a variable mileage charge. And Ryder has great rates on other size trucks, too, from small vans up to giant tractors. What this country needs today is a really good rental truck at a really good price. $24.95 a day. Ryder.
It's Atari's video game Defender.
I played on ColecoVision.
Activision.
I played on ColecoVision.
Mattel's M Network and Imagic.
We played them on ColecoVision.
Introducing ColecoVision's first expansion module that lets you play all Atari 2600 compatible cartridges. And with all of ColecoVision's cartridges, that means you can play more games than any other video game system. It's simple. You can play Atari 2600 cartridges on ColecoVision, but you can't play ColecoVision on Atari. Your vision is our vision. ColecoVision.
Come on, you guys. Hands up. Defense.
It's your broker from Dean Witter.
I want to see you hustle. Some people just aren't easy to please, especially when it comes to their investments.
Joe, we do it.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
At Dean Witter, we can give even the hard-to-please investor something to smile about.
Okay, let's see that defense.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in his first year of professional football here in Minneapolis, built at a cost of $55 million. And had a little problem earlier in the week, as a matter of fact last Thursday, but they put it back together in great shape, and a capacity crowd plus. Over 62,000 on hand tonight. We begin the second quarter, 1st down 10. The Vikings, 46-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys, and the Vikings down 3-0. Kramer has the time. Tries to dump it off. Intended for Galbraith, but he was looking downfield for Sensor.
They're pretty well covered downfield. You see a quarterback move around like that, that's your first indication, because he's going to go back and wants to release it as quick as he can.
First quarter statistics, Dandy. Virtually even in rushing. Big passing edge to Dallas. Total yards, the edge to Dallas. Time of possession, overwhelmingly Dallas. Neither team with a turnover. A very swift first quarter. In times of time expended, not a single penalty in the first quarter. So far, brisk ball game.
Two wide receivers, quick to the left. Leo Lewis and Terry LeCount. Sam McCullum to the right on 2nd down and 10. Kramer, and it's picked off by Dennis Thurman. He's down the sidelines. Kramer's the last one that can save it.
Bye-bye.
Dennis Thurman, he's been beaten a lot, but he will still take the gamble, and this time Thurman picks it off into the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas.
Oh, Tommy.
Hung that up there, Don.
He did, and Dennis had a terrific angle. He was trying to get to the outside. Dennis saw it. He made his break before the receiver did. Tommy had to think about coming back throwing on Wall's side now, because that's where he said I was going to go.
Watch this. Instant decision. Thurman had made up his mind he was going to have a go at the football. Perfectly positioned. And this young man, whom we have openly said was failing at the cornerback position, tonight atones, at least in some measure, for past misfeasance.
He is a football player. They would like to play him at safety, where he played a year ago.
Better equipped there.
And they figured that Rod Hill, the #1 draft pick, will work his way into that cornerback, and they could put Thurman back at safety. We're watching Septien adding the extra point. Toronto gets it down. Slides it through the uprights, and the Cowboys have taken a 10-0 lead early going of the second quarter.
I think one of the defenders actually touched that football, but it still had enough strength to go right through the uprights.
It's an amazing team in that area. They've blocked more field goals and extra points than any team in the National Football League.
They made a career of it, haven't
they work on it. They really do. They put their best athletes in there and try to get it. Thurman's kind of got a good sense of humor. He's kind of the get up and go, holler kind of guy. And so he jokes a lot about being the weak link back there. And he said, hey, the only thing about it is tell coach to call good plays, not offense.
To everyone who answers the call when someone needs help, this Bud's for you. Distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Oh, Hank is considered a good old boy.
Yeah, he is.
Just hang in there, Sherry.
Don't have the baby till I get home. Man in the booth could have given that message.
Septien bangs it. Jarvis Redwine. Speedster, second-year man from Nebraska, and he is banged at the 25. It gets to the 27-yard line. It'll be first down and 10, Minnesota, rapidly getting in trouble. 14:34 remaining in the first half. They're down 10-0.
Sharp presents the genius of the keyboard, playing Sharp's new CS4800, the office calculator that performs like a computer. He performs difficult what-if projections instantly. Next, he performs on our remarkable calculator, Sharp's EL7050. It prints out 4-color charts and graphs brilliantly. Whatever your calculator needs, Sharp offers a very, very wide range.
From sharp minds come sharp products.
Take off with the most exhilarating new car of the year, the Datsun Turbo ZX. Now available with 5 speeds in 2 or 4-seater. The 5-speed Turbo ZX. This year, shift into something awesome.
Hubert, Howard Cosell, Don Meredith, our finale of Monday Night Football for this truncated season. Except, of course, for the Pro Bowl, February the 6th. We'll tell you a little bit about that. We've got some performers out here tonight who will be in Honolulu. First down and 10, Minnesota. 27-yard line. Ted Brown, big open. Brown stays on his feet out over the 40-yard line, breaking a tackle. An attempt there by Michael Downs, and Ted Brown ran right through him. Gets the first down at the 41-yard line.
Had to be a real good block on Dutton. Bruni comes up the middle, 53. That's the middle linebacker. He didn't close. They kind of had a little blitz with Mike Hegman, 58. He got behind the line of scrimmage, and they got right through the middle of it. Good run by Ted.
Good athlete. First-round draft pick in 1979. He is the latter-day Chuck Foreman for Bud Grant. Prime receiver. He caught 9 only a week ago. Handles the ball, one would think, about 2/3 of the time. Brown once again. Brown struggles to the 45-yard line. Give him 4. It'll be second down and 6. And he picked up 4 on their own.
Pro Bowl, of course, which Frank mentioned, will be February 6th in... I knew you'd come up with that. In Hawaii, the island of Oahu, Honolulu.
The Wahine right there, too.
7 of the Cowboys will be there, including Danny White and Tony Dorsett. The Vikings' one representative, 6th consecutive time, will be the outstanding linebacker, Matt Blair. 2nd down, 6. Sensor in motion. Lucky he didn't have this one picked off. He tried to go to LeCount, and it was Dennis Thurman
again.
Riding herd once again.
He's giving us a game tonight.
Randy White was right all over poor old Tommy Joe back there, too. You can see Randy White jump over a guy, 54, right there. Come in. That is not that much fun throwing like that, guys.
We're going to run down the games that are coming up for you, the playoff games. Congratulations to all of them. But if Minnesota should win tonight, Tampa Bay will go to Dallas. St. Louis will be at Green Bay on Saturday. Atlanta is here on Sunday. Tell you what happens in the event of a Dallas win, and they lead 10-0 here in the early going of the second quarter in just a moment. 3rd down and 6. LeCount in motion. Shotgun for Kramer, and he just does get it away. A blitzing Anthony Dickerson levels him.
He's been doing a good job in that particular category this year. They send Dickerson in these situations, long situations. He's got great speed, real good quickness. And there's just some people have a better knack for rushing the quarterback than others do. But you'll see Dickerson, here's Big Ed coming out on the outside, and right in the middle comes Anthony.
He was effective this way last week in the losing game against the Eagles, Dickerson.
Reminds me a little bit of Thomas Henderson's quickness and speed. They're about the same size. And
well, they play 2 people over there, 4. They get the effect of one Henderson, I guess. Guy Brown is in there against the run, and they bring Dickerson in against the pass. Rod Hill is dropped for the Cowboys. Greg Coleman will run it. He will not make it either.
Oh, wait a minute.
It will be very close.
He got it.
Great effort by Greg Coleman.
Really?
The tackle reversed his field, and that could put some life into the Vikings.
You won't see that too often. What a great effort.
Well, tonight's the night for it. They ought to do all of that sort of stuff. I believe that was Billy Joe Dupree at right 89.
Had him
right there. Billy Joe hasn't worked on he hadn't worked on the blocking sled, tackling sled, anything for a while.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys have dropped their picket line. They're running backwards, Don.
And Jeff Rohr, that's true. Rohr was number 50. He was the guy that also was supposed to contain out there.
First time in 4 years, we understand that Greg Coleman has run out of the punt formation. Well, he is successful, and a key play it is.
First time he's run for a game. But he sure picked a good time.
Inside the 41-yard line of the Cowboys. 1st and 10, Minnesota. Kramer, LeCount. And LeCount, short of the first down, stepping out of bounds inside the 34-yard line for a gain of about 6.
Now, LeCount's in a little different category. There's the Soviet national hockey team watching the game.
They should have a little bit more fun than that. I mean,
LeCount has had some sparkling efforts in brief stints for the Vikes, most particularly against the Chargers a year ago when the Vikes upset them, and LeCount was the dominant factor. So Kramer has had experience throwing to LeCount, much more than to McCullum.
Marked at the 34-yard line. 2nd down, long 3. Sensor in motion. And Ted Brown, big hole in the middle, and Ted Brown almost breaks him. Another tackle would have been a much larger game, but he gets the first down at the 25-yard line.
You see that happen every now and then. They'll break right up the middle. That's Watts Brunig, number 53. He's going with the flow of the fullback. There's nobody in there. You got Michael Downs coming up from the secondary. That particular defense they had called. Brunig's job was to go with that first back. The fullback didn't have the ball.
Super block by Jim Huff against All-Pro Randy White. He just did a one-on-one stand-up, and Ted Brown zipped right by him, got the first down. That run by Coleman really brought the crowd to its feet. Sensor in motion. Galbraith struggles on the right side for maybe 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. We mentioned what would happen should Minnesota win. A Dallas victory tonight. It'll be easy on the coaches because Minnesota will be playing at Dallas next Sunday, and Tampa Bay will go up to Green Bay on Saturday, while St. Louis will be at Atlanta on Sunday.
Well, that man doesn't relish the thought of going to Dallas and to Texas Stadium, and he was very blunt in saying so. He knows how hard it is to beat the Cowboys there, though they can be beaten, as the Eagles proved a week ago.
And the Steelers in our first game of the year.
That's right.
2nd down and 8 from the 24-yard line. Tommy Kramer very wisely underthrowing the count because once again, Dennis Thurman was there.
This is the best game we have seen Dennis Thurman have on a Monday or Thursday night since he's been in the league.
We're going to probably see him have some more opportunities tonight because I figured that Minnesota's going to stay with that game plan for a while, and they're going to throw in that area. So we'll see how he stacks up as the night goes along.
3rd wide receiver now on 3rd and 8 for Minnesota. That's little Leo Lewis, who's made some big plays. He now has 8 receptions for the Vikings and has scored 3 touchdowns. He's split out to the left by Tommy Kramer. As we look from the end zone, that would be your right.
Look at 51 right in the middle. That's Dickerson. That's their pass defense.
Here he comes.
There they come, and he got somebody open.
McCullum.
Get it out of there.
McCullum and Kramer read the blitz beautifully. 1st down, Minnesota, near the 12-yard line.
That was very good because he didn't have any time to get away with that. That's just where the shotgun offense comes in. He's back there already, has the ball, can get rid of it. If he had come back from under the tee, ball would not have been complete.
This whole drive triggered by Greg Coleman's astounding run. First right out of the grasp of Billy Joe Dupre, number 89, then left across the field. Still enough foot speed to turn the corner, get the first down that, as I said, triggered this whole drive.
And the drive continues at the 12-yard line of the Cowboys. The Vikings down 10-0. Galbraith just keeping the defense honest as Galbraith up the middle. It'll keep the Cowboys, and I don't really think you have to keep this man's defense in line because they are on tracks really in 4-3, the 4-3 that Tom plays. You take an outside, you take an inside step, and you'd better not vary it.
I wonder if this will be Tom's last year with the 4-3. That might bear some discussion later, Frank.
I think he'll become much more flexible with it. There's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The Vikes can make a first down at the 2-yard line. Ted Brown going into big John Dutton, being thrown back, but he surges close to the 5-yard line. Well, it'll bring up a 3rd down and just about 4.
Uh-oh, Brown's hurt.
Ted Brown,
that they can't
on the
afford.
carpet. Hopefully just the wind knocks out of him. He's catching at his stomach.
They have not used that number 1 draft choice tonight yet, Aaron Nelson, the speedster.
There is Dutton handling Ted Brown, who never seems to quit. And that is a whole lot of weight on top of somebody. John Dutton going about 275. Big Ed Jones 272. And Brown remains on the carpet. We'll be back with a report in just a moment.
Hitachi wants your next color television to be your best. So compare for these features. All Hitachi 19-inch color televisions have wood cabinets. Hitachi has signal tracker control. It automatically monitors and corrects the color picture before you see it. And our 10-to-1 limited warranty far exceeds what many others offer. When you compare, the choice is clear. Hitachi, a world leader in technology.
Burlington fabrics weave their way through your life in fantastic denim for action. Fabrics for style. Fabulous fabrics in looks that create fashion inside and out. Fabrics with fashion sense that do what you want them to do. Sensationally. All made better by Burlington.
Saturdays, ABC Sports Beat with Howard Cosell. The Professional Bowlers Tour. ABC's Wide World of Sports. Saturdays are just the beginning on ABC.
Back in the Metrodome, downtown Minneapolis, capacity crowd. The Vikings trail the Dallas Cowboys 10-0. 10:01 remaining in the first half, but the Vikings are on the prowl near the 5-yard line with the 3rd down and a long 3.
Wide split up the middle there.
Brown left the field under his own power. Should be back. Galbraith
Good read by Dickerson. Oh, he was out there in a hurry.
And a loss all the way back to the 9-yard line. We'll see the field goal unit. I'm sure that Brown is all right.
Well, we're told he's got some damage to his left shoulder. We're not quite sure yet how much. In the meantime, Dandy, again, shovel passes in the backfield when you're down close, and the way you want to go is straight ahead.
I'll tell you, that was really an outstanding defensive play by Anthony Dickerson again. He really came from that middle, and he really was over there in a hurry.
Boy, he is quick. Came all the way from the middle as we watched Dan Meyer. 27-yard effort. The Bills gets it down. And the Vikings are on the scoreboard. They trail by 7. 27-yard effort by Rick Danmeyer. He becomes 8 of 14 for the season. 9:02 remaining in the first half. We'll be back.
When you buy a brand new Nissan Pulsar, it's like getting 2 cars in one. I got a roomy, economical, high-mileage, practical runabout town, and in the same car, I got a sporty, front-wheel drive beauty with full instrumentation and stereo, standard. With all this, the Nissan Pulsar is the lowest priced hatchback at your Datsun dealer.
We bet you're gonna want one.
Or 2. Betcha.
My whole life has changed since the award-winning Frogger home video game became so popular. Frankly, I'm swamped by admirers. So to get away from it all, I reach for Frogger. It's a challenge, Ribbit, because the better you are, Ribbit, Ribbit, the harder Frogger is to play. Oops.
Ladies first.
Do they love me or my Frogger?
Frogger, Sega's arcade game, now a home video game from Parker Brothers, the ones to beat.
A glimpse of heaven, personal accounts of the view from death's door on 2020 Thursday.
Danmeyer successful. 28-yard field goal he's credited with. Ron Fellows, number 27, is back with Timmy Newsom for the Cowboys, not respecting, as you can see, a big leg from Danmeyer as they're up around the 10-yard line. Danmeyer shakes him up a bit. He drives Newsom back to the 4-yard line. The big speedster stays on his feet. Finally goes down near the 18-yard line. Will be 1st and 10. Dallas tackled by John Swain. Let's take a look at the playoff picture.
Yes. NFC, if Dallas should win tonight, Detroit would be at Washington Saturday, Tampa Bay at Green Bay, Minnesota at Dallas, as we've noted earlier Sunday, St. Louis at Atlanta. However, if Minnesota wins, St. Louis at Green Bay. If Minnesota wins, Detroit at Washington, St. Louis at Green Bay, Tampa Bay at Dallas, and they gave Dallas a tough 14-9 game earlier this year in Atlanta at Minnesota. Give you the AFC in a moment.
1st down and 10. Out of the I formation, the Cowboys. Tony Dorsett with the play action, and Danny White up on top. Tony Hill turned inside. Danny White thought he was going outside. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
All right, let's look at the AFC matchup. Saturday, Cleveland against the Raiders in L.A. New England at Miami with the help of a plower of snow. Sunday, the Jets at Cincinnati. What an assignment. And it's not going to be easy for the Chargers in the cold of Three Rivers Stadium. And if Bradshaw is hot, they can beat anybody, Candy.
What did Jack Lambert say? I hope it snows a foot. Yeah. Bring them on. 18-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Dorsett following Springs. Gets a block from Springs. And down the sideline, short of a 1st down, as he steps out just about the 25-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 3. Good block, Ron Springs. He's getting better with each passing game. We're going to be talking with Joe Paterno, who finally has accomplished it all, I guess, in college football. Maybe you can ask him, Howard, if he would reconsider the many no's he has said to the professionals.
I just think he's one of the great people. If he's listening in the studio, he knows how I feel about him. Some ways, he's like Lombardi. They both grew up in Brooklyn. I taught them both.
I knew you were going to get that in.
3rd down 3. Cosby in motion from the shotgun. Danny White looks for Springs, and he has to throw behind because good coverage by the 3rd-year man out of SC, Dennis Johnson, who's playing himself a football game tonight.
About Joe Paterno, you always get the feeling then maybe his proudest accomplishment wasn't even finally winning the national championship. He had deserved to be named the winner of that some years back with unbeaten teams. But maybe it's the kind of person he turns out. Knowing these kids, watching them come up into the pros, he turns out men.
There is Eddie Payton, brother of the Chicago Bears' Walter Payton, as is widely known. Danny White to do the punting. Lots of time, and Danny White hangs it high, gets it to turnover. Payton from the 33. And taken immediately to Ron Fellows, hustling downfield as he does so well on the special unit of the Dallas Cowboys. We have timeout with 8:30 remaining in the first half. It's 10-3, Dallas over Minnesota. Payton limping off the field.
Sharp introduces a videotape recorder so personal everybody thinks it's theirs. That's why they call it My Video. It has video search, uses 8-hour tapes, yet it's small enough to move from room to room, house to house, even out of doors. Sharp's My Video. We replaced 500,000 transistors and diodes with one tiny chip. From sharp minds come sharp products.
I have the solution to the problem of buying a business computer. Because if you go too small, you'll just be playing games. Go too big, pay a big price. The solution is MAI Basic 4 for the right computer at the right price. From a powerful desktop computer up to information processing and office automation systems for any company, any size. MAI Basic 4. I am the solution.
Danny White hammered a 43-yard punt. Walter Payton could only negotiate 3 yards out of it. First down and 10, Minnesota, their own 35-yard line. Galbraith and Brown back in the game, number 23, the setbacks for the Vikings. Ted Brown.
Good play.
Ooh, and easing out there with Ted Brown was Big Harvey Martin from his defensive right end position. Gain of maybe 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Guy Brown was out there also, 59, and they just strung that one out. You're right. Caught that one. That was the kind of pitch we saw earlier. He picked up some yardage on that first down. That time they played it pretty well.
D.D. Lewis, who played over there, I think, 13 years, must be fairly proud. They used 2 linebackers to fill his big shoes. Retired after last season. Guy Brown plays running situations, and Dickerson is in on the pass. Right linebacker for the Cowboys. 2nd down and 8. Brown, Galbraith, brother, and Galbraith gets the first down. Midfield, Galbraith eased out into the right flat, just kind of found the opening back across the middle, and the Cowboy is slow getting up.
Well, that's Guy Brown that's slow getting up, and he was the man. Gave him a good move to the outside, came back in on him, and Guy never could catch up.
Well, this is the Galbraith I was talking about, who's so good as a receiver coming out of the backfield. He's built like a bull, maybe a horse.
Well, there ain't but 2 horses, and that's Herschel Walker. We know that.
Guy Brown is being attended to. Looks like it might be a shoulder or perhaps a neck problem. We'll be right back.
Last one packed by some Michelob Light, okay?
You heard her. Come on.
Michelob Light for the winner.
Would anybody really race like this for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light. The rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winner.
Your horse never ran like that before.
He knows my favorite beer when he hears it.
Michelob Light.
You can't argue with success. Nissan Motor Corporation's 9.9 annual percentage rate truck financing is saving buyers money. And now we're extending 9.9. So you can still save from $900 to over $1,500 in finance charges alone on any new Datsun truck. So join the crowd while we still have trucks and you still have time.
Datsun, we are driven.
Guy Brown walking off the field, shaking his hands as though he might have perhaps pinched a nerve in his neck. But it appears to be all right. Meanwhile, he's been
replaced by Anthony Dickinson at the right linebacking position for the Cowboys. First down and 10, following Galbraith's first down reception at midfield. That's Simpson in motion. And Brown. Inside handoff over the right side. He'll get about 3. It'll be second down and 7. And yes, they are working on Brown's neck. Eddie Payton appears to be all right. He limped off after the last punt.
He'll be back. He just told us. He gave us some great thrills with some of those kick runs.
And we've watched either a Monday night or Thursday night, every one of his returns for touchdowns on punts or kickoffs. He likes Monday night football. Second down and 7. Simpson, the tight end, holds on for a Minnesota first down near the 37-yard line in the arms of Bob Bruning.
I wondered when he would get to Sensor, who was clearly the best athlete on that Vikings team.
Sensor's been a little bit troubled with very sore knee and a swollen elbow. But against the Jets, he was the Vikes' top receiver with 10 receptions.
Well, that was an odd game. They totally dominated the Jets in time of possession, in yardage gained, over 500 yards. Jets in one quarter had the ball for 2 minutes and another for 3.
Kramer, 330 yards passing.
But the Jets were total opportunists in that game and crushed them 42-14.
First and 10, play action by Kramer, looking for Galbraith. Or Ricky Young out of the backfield, and Young is to the 12-yard line.
Beautifully executed play.
Ricky Young, who has really taken a back seat over the past couple of years to Ted Brown, coming into tonight. Only 2 receptions, only 44 yards rushing, makes a big play here.
But Young has always been an excellent receiver, and he is evidence, along with Galbraith and Darren Nelson, still not in the game, evidence that this Minnesota team's personnel is better than its record suggests. I really believe that when we saw them in the Hall of Fame game, Frank, remember?
They get a lot out of them, I'll tell you that. Inside the 13-yard line, first down, 10 Minnesota. They've been here before. Had to settle for 3. They trail 10-3 with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Ricky Young. And Ricky Young goes down. Dickerson made the stop, but Young gets 5 yards out of it. It'll be second down and 5.
Harvey Martin a little slow getting up.
Not Bob Uecker. That is, what do they call him? Crazy George. Crazy George Henderson, who maybe you Oakland A's fans have seen him out in California. They brought him in here because they've been accused of playing football games before a concert-type crowd. And he's got him fired up a little bit tonight. Second down and 5. Ted Brown follows Ricky Young, gets close to the 5-yard line, where it'll be third down and about 3, a passing situation for the Vikings.
Difference in the tenor of the crowd indoors from what it used to be at Metropolitan Stadium. There, everybody would freeze to death, and they'd have to jump up and down, try and get warm. Here, it's downright warm. Dandy now in his shirt sleeves, tie off, neck open at the collar.
Harvey Martin
open at the neck, rather.
Harvey Martin out of the game, a right in for the Cowboys. Larry Bethea, first-round pick from Michigan State a couple of years ago, has replaced Harvey Martin. Third down and 3. Vikings. Ted Brown. He'll get the first down.
Straight ahead.
Good blocking by Huff and Dennis Swilly.
That's the 3rd time you've called Jim Huff's name, and he is putting in some game. Meeting his blocking assignments brilliantly. Number 51, Jim Huff.
Well, I could have been premature. It looked as though Brown had the first down, and now they will measure. There's Jim Huff. He is strong.
5-year man, Utah State. Knew a fellow from Utah State, 5'8", came to New York, playing the Gotham Bowl, an ill-fated venture. His name, Merlin Olsen.
You saw how much for the first down, and the Vikings send out their offensive unit. Kramer stays on. Well, 2 tight tight ends are in, Sensor and Jordan. And they bring in Curtis Rouse. Big rookie at 6'3" and 290 pounds out of Chattanooga.
He is huge. He's got a big future. Quick-footed kid.
4th down and inches. And Ted Brown gets the first, almost gets into the end zone. It'll be 1st down, goal to go inside the 1. And going over that left side where I mentioned a moment ago, Harvey Martin has retired at least for a breather after being shaken up, was Ted Brown. And right out of his sneaks. Crowd is really getting fired up now as Minnesota is within a possible tying score. The 1st down, goal to go.
And it's uncanny. They do play Dallas well.
They do. Dallas, their offense has not moved the ball very well tonight, and they've been able to control that ball. Minnesota has. They do play them well.
Key to Dallas's failure, 2 overthrows of Butch Johnson by Danny White. Dallas could have had 2 TDs.
Ted Brown runs into his own man, and the surge carries him back. The Vikings are saying that he got in second effort with the whistle had blown. It'll be 2nd down, goal to go.
This is where you don't want to do anything real fancy. You're so close right now. Just push the ball on in there, get your score, come back, have this thing tied up. Maybe this crowd can help. I believe crowds do. I think when the home crowd gets behind a team, it really kind of fires them up.
The Vikings will not get another playoff before the 2-minute warning. That will give Kramer an opportunity not to use a timeout, but go over and have a little conference with head coach Bud Grant. There is the 2-minute warning. And the Vikings, they're down 10-3. They have a 2nd down, goal to go inside the 1 of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
The test pilot who broke the sound barrier, General Chuck Yeager.
Like most of the jets that I fly, today's cars are loaded with electrical systems. That's why in my car I use the advanced technology of AC Delco. This Delco Freedom 2 battery is not low maintenance, it's no maintenance. No maintenance, no hassle.
Look for Delco's new lower prices on these 3 series. See participating outlets and save.
AC Delco is the way to go.
Hi, Gene. How's the wife? How's the kids? How's the weather? How about those Yankees? I just got the proposal. I think the perfect way to proceed at this point, 10:30 a.m., would be for me to have my assistant duplicate it, collate it, translate it, telegraph it, reciprocate it, reiterate it, and expurgate it. Then I think with all due haste, my assistant should tabulate it, word process it, index it, file it, cross-reference it, computerize it, and make sure that every man, woman, and child in the United States gets a copy. After that, I think we should run with it, move forward with it, make the big move with it, hit the streets with it, put everything we've got into it.
Federal Express now schedules delivery by 10:30 a.m.
The same tune with it, march on the same street with it, make sure that we're all in the same
It's incredible what you can do with that much extra
Then I'll have my
time.
assistant translate it into French, German, Spanish, Italian, Norwegian, Finnish, Swedish, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Hungarian, Swiss, German, Chinese, Swahili, Patois.
Metrodome in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Vikings trying to stay home next Sunday and host the Atlanta Falcons. And if they win tonight, they can do just that, while the Cowboys will return to Texas Stadium and host Tampa Bay. As the playoffs in the big Super Bowl tournament get underway. 16 teams out of 28 qualifying.
Don't want to put the whammy on this, but interestingly, no penalties thus far. One has to wonder if Dallas is playing up to its ability, knowing they're safely in the playoffs. Certainly the Vikes look like they want to win more than Dallas, up till now.
2nd down, goal to go. Each team has 3 timeouts. A quick score by Minnesota, and Dallas would have plenty of time to get on the scoreboard again. And no indication of a touchdown. Yes. Ted Brown. They unpile it, and the Vikings are within a conversion of tying it up. Minnesota sends their 2 top receivers, Ahmad Rashad out with broken vertebrae, and Sammy White with a bad knee, have tied up the Cowboys, or within a conversion of doing so. Here's Rick Danmeyer.
You mentioned about Minnesota seeming to want to win a little bit more than Dallas. I sense that, too. You wonder, you see them play some games, they're just unbelievable world beaters, and Danmeyer knocks it through. And other games, it looks like Dallas doesn't really care that they've been reading the newspaper about themselves. They just don't go out there and play like they can.
We'll be back at the Metrodome with more action after this message from the National Football League.
What happens to the child nobody wants? As they grow older, their chances for adoption grow slimmer. He's Joe Sensor of the Minnesota Vikings. He knows how these children feel. As a child, he lost one of his parents and was in an orphanage for 6 years.
I can feel what some of these kids are feeling. I know what it feels like when sometimes you don't feel loved and you don't feel cared. And it's a very hurt feeling.
Today, as a United Way volunteer, he knows there are 437 United Ways in Minnesota making funds available to help these children through foster care and adoption.
It's a sad thing to see these kids. It's not their fault that they're in situations like this, and we hope that people realize that and help us help them.
Let's give every child our love and understanding. Let's give the United Way.
That touching message brought to you by the Minnesota Vikings' Joe Sensor, their fine tight end, and the National Football League. 1:51 remaining in the first half. The Dallas Cowboys have 3 timeouts. Rick Danmeyer getting ready to kick off. It looked like the Metrodome being blown up. That's exactly what it is.
That's about the way they did it.
Ron Fellows has dropped number 27 along with Timmy Newsom for the Cowboys. Danmeyer trying to get the ball to Fellows, kicks it short, and is taken by Cosby, the tight end.
There goes the flag.
Down, first time tonight, as Cosby works his way to the 25-yard line. Our referee tonight is Bob McElwee. First time we've had a chance to talk about him. And typically, if you follow this game, and the Cowboys will be backed up towards their goal line.
Tom looks kind of quizzical there. He has for years.
Illegal block above the waist. Number 14 on the return. First down.
Teddy's a happy man with good reason. He's performing splendidly tonight. Joe Paterno in our New York studio. We'll be talking with him during the course of halftime. That shows you the domination of Minnesota in this quarter.
First down and 10, 14-yard line. Cowboys out of the shotgun. They have 3 timeouts. 1:46 on the clock. Danny White, all the time he could ever ask for, finally works it out to Timmy Newsom. Out of the backfield. Newsom short of the first down.
One of those things, Howard, you're talking about in your prevent defense. I don't know what they're preventing. If you don't get some pressure on that quarterback, he's going to find somebody open after a while. That's all there is
like
to it.
Like a big purple dartboard.
That's it. Just wait out there and pick it up.
Second down 1. The clock is ticking away. White. Cosby does not hold on. A rare occasion for the tight end, Doug Cosby. Good hands on this man.
Very rare occasion. We're not seeing Danny White at his best tonight, that's for sure. A reminder, the 2 overthrows to an absolutely free Butch Johnson.
Yeah.
And by the way, Harold Jackson's back.
Hey, that's a scoop, too. We don't know about that. They found him hunting someplace. They ran out of receivers up here and got Harold Jackson back.
We have not seen Harold Jackson in the lineup yet for Minnesota. They just activated him yesterday. The NFL's leading active receiver, as a matter of fact, all time over his 15 years. Third down and 1 for the Cowboys. 1:16 on the clock. Inside handoff, and up in it is Ron Springs. He'll be short of the first down, I think. He was really popped.
Dallas has not decided, I don't think, whether they want to run or whether they want to throw tonight. Every offensive, particularly in the offense, they just seem like they're just walking around out there. They haven't set up a run or a pass with any type of consistency. And they just kind of walk around and say, hey, we're something going here in a little while.
I didn't even think they'd bother measuring this one. Meanwhile, Minnesota has 3 timeouts. And the Cowboy punting unit is out on the field. clock. We have a tie score at 10. And the Vikings, who are excellent at blocking kicks of all kinds, now they get their timeout. And they got the timeout before the clock started. 1:08 remaining. Bud Grant looks on. He has 3 timeouts. The Cowboys will punt.
All right, Coach Bill Walsh, San Francisco, winner of the Super Bowl a year ago, learned the hard way yesterday how fleeting fame can be in the world of sports. Vince Ferragamo, another big day for him. And this was the action, fourth quarter, 2014 49ers. And Ferragamo, who failed with the Montreal Alouettes, throwing deep downfield, number 84, George Farmer, that tied it up. The extra point gave the Rams the 21-20 edge. And then, in the waning moments of the game, an apparently easy field goal for Ray Wersching, but the kick was low. Ivory Sully got his hands on it. The Rams won it.
4th down and 1. Danny White is dropped. One will not suspect that Danny White will be running from this position. That is Rufus Best. Eddie Payton getting a little breather. You saw him limp off earlier. Beautiful punt by Danny White. So high. And goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So Minnesota has a 1st and 10. A minute and 1 second remains here in the first half, and the Vikings have 2 timeouts.
And that kick out of bounds saves them. They can go ahead and take the time to line up, stop the clock again.
Metrodome livening up. The Vikings were down at one point 10-0. They have played their kind of football that is steady, very few mistakes, and now they have brought it to a tie at halftime. Tommy Kramer looks over the Dallas 4-3. Ball inside the 38-yard line. Inside handoff, Ted Brown. He's upended. It's maybe 2 yards out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 8. That play one would suspect just to keep the Cowboy front 4 honest. They're going to be that way anyway.
Well, they took the middle linebacker out. They were trying to break it real quick up the middle. Had another play call.
Oh, Kramer just throwing it out of bounds as Anthony Dickinson picked up and covered well. Ted Brown out of the backfield. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Good pressure by Bethea that time.
Excellent.
He's, as we mentioned earlier, Harvey Martin, we haven't gotten a report, but limped off earlier. Bethea's the guy that had that heavy burden in life. Great potential when he came in, and they've been waiting for him to move somebody out. So far, they haven't been able to do that.
He tried it.
Move out.
He tried it in '79 when Ed Jones tried boxing. And, well, it just didn't work out for him. A 1st-round draft pick out of Michigan State. But he was pressuring that time, number 76, Larry Bethea.
Didn't work out for Ed Jones either.
Well, he was undefeated. 3rd and 8.
Look at that interception by Walsh.
By the NFL's leading interceptor. He gets his 7th of the season. He had already won that title with 6 coming into tonight.
What great reaction.
Put that together with what he did last year, 11 of them.
But that was a tough break for the Vikes because 84, Sam McCullum, slipped to the ground. Now Dallas has a good shot for a field goal.
But look at this move. Coming over the top. It just that's terrific.
Interesting stat. And Howard, I was looking up. That was his 52nd interception, counting his senior year in high school back in Dallas, and, of course, his career at Grambling.
He didn't even play till he was a junior.
Yeah.
Didn't play football till he was a junior.
And the guy was gathered in as a free agent. You'll wonder where the scouts were.
Well, there was a question as to whether or not
fast enough.
He was quick enough. 30 seconds. Danny White looking, and down he goes. Somebody's got him by the britches. Down at the 45-yard line.
Oh, they just are not smooth, are they?
Not tonight.
They weren't last week.
Don't forget, if it hadn't been for that one lazy cross-field errant throw by Kramer, that produced the Thurman interception for a touchdown, the Vikes would be ahead.
Dallas has 2 timeouts as they stop the clock with 25 seconds.
May I take you, ladies and gentlemen, back in time? 61, October 8th. First time the Cowboys met the Vikes, 2 old friends going at one another. The day seemed to start auspiciously on that occasion for a scrambling gentleman wearing number 10, Sir Francis Tarkenton. Back he went, and he connected, in this case, to Jerry Reichow out of Iowa. Remember him? And he was connecting throughout the day in this manner, but never did get the ball into the end zone. On the contrary, his adversary, the angular number 17, John Meredith,
Look at that arm. Look at that arm.
Clark, touchdown. And the Cowboys went on to win it 28-0.
Out of sight, out of sight. Yeah.
You know what I love about that?
What?
Your highlights are also in black and white.
You know what I like about it?
What?
You had a terrible build.
Hey, how about the arm? The ball was right there. That was the Houghton. That was Don Bishop that knocked whatever his other name out. I know those guys. What can I tell you?
Sack on Danny White. Second down now at about 18. The ball near the 45-yard line of the Cowboys. 25 seconds remain in the half. We're tied at 10. Cowboys have 2 timeouts. Dorsett bobbles it. Maybe a good thing he did.
Oh, me. This does not look like a Cowboy team.
Rafferty actually made a pretty good shot there to come back and at least protect Tony a little bit. Everson, that a way to go. Everson. Telling you, he is that's sharp.
7 interceptions in a 9-game season, and tonight's not over.
It's a good point. We can expect to see that ball in the air quite a bit, I think, before we call this one a night.
3rd down and 18. 20 seconds on the clock. Cowboys still with 2 timeouts. They'd like to get within range of Septien. They need to get somewhere around the 40-yard line.
Look out.
Almost picked off.
Yeah.
It was intended for Drew Pearson, and John Turner, the old cornerback, moved to the free safety, holds his helmet, and said, oh, I should have had that one.
Well, he should have. That ball, he played it really well, stayed back, saw Drew coming down, and he came back in to pick it up. You see Pearson coming down. Let's just watch it. He did draw a crowd. And look at number 27. That's John Turner. And John should have picked that one off. Gave him a bad spot.
4th down, and Dallas trots out the punting unit with 15 seconds remaining on the halftime clock. Reminding you again, we're talking live, or rather Howard will, with Joe Paterno, who's Anthony Lyons, our number 1 for the first time ever under his tutelage. That's hard to believe. I didn't believe it when I first started talking about that a few weeks ago. Danny White just captures a beauty. And it's too pretty. It moves into the end zone with 5 seconds remaining on the halftime clock. And the Vikings will have a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Now we're advised Eddie Payton's knee is sore, and he may not be back for some of his kick-running functions.
Dome for sale cheap. Well, they had brought in a Teflon-coated piece of fiberglass that weighed about 5,000 pounds. They brought it in, what, on Friday, Howard? Strung it together Saturday, blew it up yesterday. And so far, everything is working. Let's keep it that way. First down, Kramer holds on to the football.
Hey.
Talking about some of our traveling crew who put out a very interesting cookbook. They went to some of the fine watering holes.
Didn't we, though?